At Bank of America, we consider preaching trust. Stability. Totally not confusing fees. At Bank of America, we believe in transparency. That's why we lay everything out in front of you.
Alright, so here's how it works, super simple. We take your money, okay? Then we move it over here, then it goes through this thing, and then boom! Confidence, kid. It's a system. Don't ask too many questions. Let's crank this thing to 11! Relax! This is totally under control. Look at the numbers, they're moving, that's good. Powered by Palofox Advanced Strategies. These guys? Wicked smart. Plus, don't worry, we got odor sight. A system you can trust. All right, who touched it?
Real-time precision. Introducing the future of market stability for Mbidlide. When things get unpredictable, you need certainty. K-Griff Bedpost. Precision, control, results, Griff Bedpost. Trusted by professionals. Changed everything. Seems legit. It works. Results speak for themselves. Seamless performance. All right, okay, this is a lot. This is a lot. I'll admit that. When it matters most. It's a system. Confidence.
Funny how pain make monsters quiet. Motherfuckers only know this blood when they hit concrete. Joker, hey! Welcome to the cage, bitch. Yeah! I've been hurt, I don't trust nobody. I've been hurt, I don't trust nobody. Fake ass smiles, I see through everybody. Cold heart turned me into a problem. If it's a war, pussy boy, I'ma solve it. Fuck that! I done crawled through the mud in the violence. Blood spill, I move deadly in silence. Boom! Lost soul, I don't feel shit the same. In this cage, ain't no rules to the game. Look, I done see what fake Lord do. Turn a real one cold with a short fuse. Same motherfuckers always star beside. Turn bitch made when the storm arrive. Funny thing, now they act surprised. Cause the quiet one's dangerous inside. Facts! I don't talk much, I observe and plot. Every move calculated like birds and shots. Mind dark, but the fit all clean. Gold chain swing like a guillotine. Back then, pockets had nothing in them. Now my baseline sound like corruption in them. Trust issues big as a damn semi. I done cut off people that still right near me. Everybody loyal till the lights go off, till the rent due late and the price too high. Now I move with a demon grin, cause revenge tastes sweet when the pressure win. Whole lot of fake shit, I adapted. Pain in my chest turned tactical savage. Let's go. All out on apps and captions till real life show up with reactions. I've been hurt, I don't trust nobody. Fake ass smiles, I see through everybody. Ape Cage, cold heart turned me into a problem. If it's war, pussy boy, I'ma solve it. Boom! I done crawled through the mud in the violence. Blood spill, I move deadly in silence. Yeah! Lost soul, I don't feel shit the same. In this cage, ain't no rules to the game. Yeah. Pressure hit, I got colder with time. Now every bar got revenge inside. Motherfuckers switch for attention and fame. Now they sick every time I gain. I was broke eating noodles and stress. Now the whole damn club know the name. What? Heavy bass shake the flow through walls. Whole crowd jump when the kick drum crawl. I don't flex, I survive some shit. Real print, real pain made me talk like this. Every scar got a story attached. Every loss made the hunger dap. Now I walk like the pressure king. Cause the struggle gave me everything. Talk reckless, get shut down quick. Y'all tweet tough, I done lived that shit. Facts. Nobody save me. Not one fucking person. So I turn pain into ammunition. I was fighting myself every night, smiling outside while my soul lost light. They don't know what it costs just to stand when depression got blood on your hands. I remember cold nights, no heat, just rage, dark thoughts and weed. Now the same people doubted division, want to celebrate once I succeed. Too late, I remember every absence, every fake hug, every weird ass tension. Now I keep my distance, strategic, cause betrayal make the mind more genius. I don't scream, I let silence kill that calm energy, get violent chills, voice low but the truth cut deep. Cause the pain in my bars too real. Joker, hey bitch, I built from scars. Now my baseline sound like armored cars. I've been hurt, I don't trust nobody. Nobody. Fake ass smiles, I see through everybody. Cold heart turned me into a problem. If it's war, pussy boy, I'ma solve it. Boom, boom, boom. I done crawled through the mud and the violence. Blood spill, I move deadly in silence. Ape Cage.
Welcome. Yes, I promised you that I would be back because some asshole decided to come on my show and basically delete 2 sections and my final word. Well, I'm here. You didn't deter me. You didn't scare me. You thought by deleting my stuff that people would think I come unprepared? No. Here's the difference between me and what you did. I do my research. I always have a backup for that backup and a backup after that, just to make sure that I am not delivering nonsense. I'm here to give fact. I'm here to bring truth, and I'm here to show you all what exactly you need to look at. So I'm not going to be going through a whole spiel of, what we're talking about today and what happened yesterday and so on and so forth, because we're going to get right into it today. And I'm literally going to go over the 2 sections that we missed, the writing portions of it. I'm also going to be showing you some things that I uncovered while I was on a space call earlier today, and how I was able to go ahead and actually put it through my data miner and basically what it told me I could show you. So without further ado, I give you all AMC's Wall Street's worst nightmare is an educated retail investor. And I'm so happy to do this. Let me tell you, before we even get into the dark pools, the DTCC records, the swaps, the ETFs, the fails to deliver, and the fragmented routing, the Credit Suisse question, the GME fallout, the AMC data, and the entire market machine retail investors were never supposed to understand, let me make something very clear. Somebody tried to interfere with my work. Somebody deleted my writing for the last 2 sections and my final word during the AMC Ape Cage yesterday. Maybe they thought that would embarrass me. Maybe they thought it would slow me down. Maybe they thought it would make me look unprepared. Maybe they thought if they erased the words, they erased the message. Well, they were wrong. All they did was prove to me that I am looking in the right direction, because when people try to silence you, erase you, distract you, or knock you off your mission, it usually means one thing: you are getting too close to something they did not want said out loud. And instead of stopping me, they lit a fire under me. They took frustration and turned it into focus. They took anger and turned it into discipline. They took an attempt to ruin my show and gave me even more reason to make the AMC Ape Cage louder, sharper, stronger, and impossible to ignore. So let me say this plainly. I'm pissed, not emotional, not reckless, not out of control, pissed in a way a person gets when they realize somebody thought they could erase their work, insult their intelligence, and scare them away from telling the truth. Pissed in a way that turns info into research, receipts, records, documentation, and a refusal to back down. Whoever thought deleting my work would make me quit does not understand who they are dealing with. I do not stop because someone tries to make things difficult. I do not disappear because someone plays dirty. I do not fold because someone wants me silent. I become more focused. I dig deeper. I organize better. I document everything. I bring the receipts, and I keep going until the truth is standing in the middle of the room with nowhere left to hide. This is not about threats. I do not need threats. Facts are stronger. Data is stronger. Records are stronger. Public filings are stronger. And when those facts are placed in front of the retail community in plain English, they become something Wall Street cannot easily control: education. That is what this article is about. This is about the machine behind the markets. This is about the system retail investors were never supposed to understand. This is about why AMC and GME became bigger than two tickers. This is about dark pools, off-exchange routing, ETFs, swaps, securities lending, settlement delays, synthetic exposure, and the terrifying reality that modern markets may have become too complex for public transparency to keep pace. And this is also about something personal. If you tried to ruin the AMC Ape Cage show, understand this: you did not bury me. You built the next version of me. You gave me the anger, the proof, and the motivation to push harder than before. You reminded me that this mission matters. You reminded me that retail education matters. You reminded me that ordinary investors deserve to know what kind of market they are really participating in. So now we are going to look closer. We are going to look at the plumbing. We are going to look at the routing. We are going to look at the swaps. We are going to look at the DTCC trail. We are going to look at the systems, the incentives, the opacity, and the question Wall Street would rather keep buried under jargon, because this was never just about AMC. This was never just about GME. This was never just about one deleted document, one show, one stock, one hedge fund, one market maker, or one bad actor. This is about whether modern markets still belong to the public at all. And if somebody thought deleting my words would stop that conversation, they just made the biggest mistake they could have made. They made sure I would say it louder. Welcome to the free markets. Please take a number. Your order is currently lost in a dark pool. Fragmented routing, off-exchange dominance, and why retail investors started looking at Wall Street like a casino with better Wi-Fi. So please take your number. If you've noticed, it's 8,675,309 until you're next. Fragmented routing, off-exchange dominance, and why retail started looking at Wall Street like a casino with better Wi-Fi. Modern markets love selling the public a beautiful little bedtime story. You open your brokerage app, you hit buy, your order goes to the stock exchange, buyer meets seller, supply meets demand, and prices move fairly. Capitalism salutes the flag, and everybody goes home. Beautiful story. Tiny problem. That is not how the massive amount of retail trading actually works anymore. Today, before a retail order in a stock like AMC or GME ever has a chance to touch a lit exchange like the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, it can be routed through wholesalers, internalizers, alternative trading systems, payment for order flow arrangements, dark pools, smart order routing, market makers, and algorithmic execution systems operating at speeds that human brain can't even process. Retail thought they were entering a public auction. What they actually entered was a high-speed institutional traffic maze. And the people who built that maze have better data, faster systems, deeper pockets, more legal protection, and more visibility than an average investor will ever see on a brokerage app. So your retail orders don't always reach the stock exchange before hitting a lit market. They can be routed through wholesalers, internalizers, payment for order flow, dark pools, ATS systems, and algorithmic system operating in microseconds. The off-exchange trading is legal, but the scale is the problem. FINRA and SEC data shows that 45 to 50% of all U.S. equities volume trades off exchange, and the highly retail-owned stocks like AMC and GME off exchange volume often reaches 60 to 70%, even above. Even SEC Chair Gary the Gasbag Gensler stated in 2022 that 65 to 85% of all retail orders in some stocks may not reach lit exchanges, where buy pressure is absorbed before the public market sees it. Price discovery weakens and trust breaks. Markets run on confidence. When the public only sees part of the picture, trust starts to break. So here's your retail journey. Retail investor goes on an app. App goes to the broker app, buys shares. That goes to a PFOF wholesaler. From there, it goes into an internalizer, aka market maker. From there, it goes to an ATS dark pool or a dark pool. From there, it should be going to a lit exchange, but instead goes to smart order routing. Then it goes into algorithmic execution for best price, of course. And then market maker hedging for options. Now, could it go to a lit exchange afterwards? Sure. But with rehypothecation chains and ETF baskets that need the collateral adjustments for some of these shares, it goes back into this internalizer market maker portion, and the whole system runs again and again and again and again. So before they actually have to report all this, it's either T13 to T35. Right in line with your failure to deliver reports. So there's no transparency, there's no justice, there's no accountability, and only retail pays. So the truth is expensive. They don't want you to find that. So research, educate, expose, hold. Together we are strong, together we win. So now, to go one step further, here's the off-exchange trading dominance. So the U.S. average of all stocks, which is 45 to 50%, that's going to go into your ATS or dark pools and never see a lit exchange, ever. For AMC, I'm sorry, folks, but we're at 70% plus. And for GME, you're at 60 to 70% plus. Show me where this is fair. Show me why I don't have to go over quotes like this of 90 to 95% of retail orders in some stocks may not reach lit exchanges directly. Gary Gensler, SEC 2022. Explain that. What I see is that the game is rigged. But there is an opportunity where we can change that game. Now, let me be clear before some Wall Street spokesman starts sweating through that $3,000 suit. Off-exchange trading is not automatically illegal. Dark pools are legal. ATS venues are legal. Internalization is legal. Payment for order flow is legal in the United States. The official argument is that these systems can improve liquidity, reduce spreads, lower costs, and provide price improvements for retail orders. And sometimes, yes, there can be truth in that, but that is not the real question anymore. The real question is, at what point does a legal market structure become so hidden, so fragmented, and so dominated by private execution systems that the public price discovery start losing the public's trust? And because that is where we are now, FINRA publishes delayed OTC trading data for ATS and non-ATS activity, meaning the public can see that a huge amount of trading happens away from traditional lit exchanges, but only after the fact. That delay matters because price discovery happens in real time, not 2 weeks later after the market already moved, and the SEC itself has acknowledged the problem. Gary Gensler stated in 2022 that a large portion of retail marketable orders were not going to lit exchanges, that off-exchange wholesalers and dark pools had become a major area of concern in U.S. equity markets structures. So no, retail investors did not invent the conversation in a basement while wearing a tinfoil hat and drinking gas station coffee at 2 a.m. The regulators are talking about it. FINRA publishes data on it. The SEC proposed reform on it. And retail investors are asking the obvious question. If retail buying pressure is constantly being absorbed, internalized, delayed, routed away, or split across hidden venues, how can the public know whether the lit price truly reflects real supply and demand? That does not mean every price movement is fake. That does not mean that every trade is criminal, but it does mean that the public market may not only be seeing part of the story, and that is the problem. Markets run on confidence, not slogans, not CNBC panels, not billionaires telling working people to calm down while their own firms operate inside systems the public cannot audit. Markets run on the belief that the price on the screen means something, but when millions of retail investors start seeing the same pattern again and again, heavy retail interest, massive off-exchange routing, delayed settlement data, high options activity, confusing lending data, and price actions that look disconnected from visible demand, they are not crazy for asking questions. They are doing exactly what investors are supposed to do. They are asking where the order went. They are asking who touched it. They are asking who profited from routing it. They are asking whether the public price was really discovered in public. And Wall Street hates that question because it cuts straight through the marketing. Once retail understands fragmented routing, and the debate stops being, why did my stock go down today? And it becomes, how much of the actual market is the public even allowed to see? That is the real issue here. Retail investors are being told to trust markets where billions of dollars move in microseconds through systems they cannot independently audit, cannot fully verify, and often cannot even watch in real time. Then when they question it, they get told, You just do not understand how markets work. Exactly. That is the problem. Most people thought they were buying stocks. They did not realize they needed a forensic accounting degree, a securities law background, 3 data terminals, a direct line to FINRA, and a bloodhound trained in derivative exposure just to understand where their order went. And once investors realize how much trading happens away from the public exchange environment, the conversation naturally moves to the next transparency problem. Fail to delivers. Settlement data, securities lending, ETF mechanics, swaps, options hedging, synthetic exposure, and the uncomfortable possibility that modern markets have become too complex for public transparency to keep pace. Welcome to Wall Street's financial multiverse, where AMC and GME shares apparently work more overtime than people buying them. Dark pool dimension. No retail eyes here, just good old liquidity. ETF land, another ETF, sure, why not? GME share, VTI GME, XRT GME, IWM GME, Schwag How do shares have more jobs than I do? Options dimension. Call me, maybe. I'm in 17 different contracts today. Failure to deliver void. I was supposed to be delivered 3 weeks ago. Your orders have been optimized. Payment for order flow. Who cares where it goes? Buy, sell, doesn't matter. Outcome, who knows? Relax, kid. The system is working exactly as designed. And the priorities: profit, bonuses, retail. Thank you for your liquidity. This is the part where the average retail investor stops feeling like they are studying the stock market and starts feeling like they accidentally opened a classified physics experiment funded by hedge funds and defended by 12 lawyers billing by the heartbeat. Because once you move beyond simple share ownership and into ETFs, swaps, derivatives, option chains, security lending, rehypothecation, internalization, market maker hedging, and synthetic exposure, modern markets stop looking like the clean little buyer meets seller fairy tale people were taught growing up. Retail was sold a lemonade stand. Wall Street built a particle accelerator inside a casino server farm. And AMC and GameStop sit right in the middle of that conversation because these were never just two ordinary stocks. AMC and GME became volatility products, option chain battlegrounds, ETF basket components, securities lending assets, retail settlement symbols, momentum vehicles, short interest case studies, and some of the most heavily watched market structure experiments in modern retail history. Welcome to the Wall Street's financial multiverse. ETF, swaps, option chains, rehypothecation, synthetic exposure, and why AMC and GME became more than just two stocks. AMC and GME are not just isolated stocks. They are inside a larger web of modern market structure involving ETFs, options, swaps, securities lending, rehypothecation, and off-exchange execution. These mechanisms create hidden connections, multiply exposure, and can amplify both price pressure and systemic risk. The ETFs can create indirect exposure through creation and redemption baskets, while option activity and market maker hedging can intensify volatility and price pressures when flows concentrate. Even small changes in positioning can lead to outsized market moves. So when swaps, lending chains, FTD delays, and fragmented routing obscure the full picture, transparency often arrives late after the damage is already done, making it difficult for the public to see the true exposure and price discovery conditions in real time. So while they sit in the middle of this black hole, AMC and GME, they start with dark pool internalizations. So the retail order can execute away from lit exchanges, reducing visibility, price discovery, and price discovery signals. Then we're going to go over to the right, and you're going to see the ETF and index funds. The creation redemption mechanics can create indirect buying and selling pressure in underlying shares. The options chain, calls, puts, and dealer hedging can create feedback loops, squeezes and volatility. Market maker hedging. Delta and gamma hedging can intensify price swings during heavy options activity. Hence, June of 2021. This is what they said happened, was market maker hedging. And so that the delta and the gamma were the reasons behind GameStop, the reason behind AMC's move when it did. Now you have the rehypothecation and the lending. This is the way that they're able to ping pong the shares back and forth to each other so that this way they can direct whatever price they want your shares to be. So the shares and collateral may be reused across multiple parties and accounts. Your swaps and total return swaps. Derivative exposure can create an economic interest without direct visible share ownership. So the modern market machine, complex, interconnected, and often invisible. So off-exchange volume dominates, then goes into the exposure, gets multiplied, data arrives late, the volatility gets amplified, the information asymmetry is locked, and then the global capital local impact. You are just sitting there just watching this happen with no reason, no justification, and no way for you to actually verify how this is happening and what you need to look at. Here's your SEC staff report. GME short interest reached 122.97% of the float in January of 2021. The Credit Suisse and Archegos incident. Credit Suisse disclosed approximately $5.5 billion in losses tied to Archegos. Rule 13F-2, 2023. SEC adopted a rule to increase public availability of short sale related data. The Consolidated Audit Trail, designed to track orders across U.S. equities and option markets. T+1 settlements. The SEC adopted a shorter settlement cycle effective May 28 of 2024. The off-exchange concern. SEC Chair Gary Gensler said 90+% of retail marketable orders are routed to small, concentrated groups of wholesalers. So when the public cannot see true exposure, true routing, or true price discovery, trust starts to break. So start with the ETFs. Most people hear ETFs and think, oh, cool, diversification. But ETFs are not just passive little baskets sitting quietly in the corner minding their business. ETFs have creation and redemption mechanics, authorized participant market makers, baskets or substitutions, underlining share flows, hedging activity, liquidity management, and exposure can connect one stock to a dozen of other products. Hence, why the rules in the SEC changed about a month and a half ago, 2 months, where they are allowing participants to basically take shares from one equity, move it to another equity in the form of liquidity and collateral to even out the battlefield between the two stocks. It doesn't matter what stock needs it. They're just allowing them to do it because they said it's okay. So when a stock like AMC or GME is inside an ETF index product, small cap funds, momentum funds, retail baskets, or thematic products, the stock is no longer trading only through direct share ownership. It can also be touched indirectly through ETF flows, options heading, fund rebalancing, securities lending, and institution inventory management. Now, combine that with options. During the 2021 meme stock event, the SEC's own GameStop report showed that GME Short interest reached 122.97% of the float in January of 21. And the report discussed the extraordinary role of equities and option market structure during that period. Read that again. 122.97% of float. That number alone should have permanently changed the way the public talks about market plumbing. Because when short interest gets that extreme, when option volume explodes, when market makers are dramatically hedging, and when retail participation surges, well, off-exchange routing is elevated. And when settlement data arrives after the fact, you are no longer looking at a simple stock chart. You are looking at a machine. That machine is made of option hedging, delta exposure, gamma pressure, ETF basket flows, short selling, stock lending, failed to delivers, internalized retail orders, swap exposure, collateral chains, and algorithmic liquidity systems. And all of it can interact at the same time. That is why retail frustration became so intense. The public was told, just look at the price. But the price may be downstream from the plumbing system the public cannot fully see. And when it came to Archegos, Archegos was not AMC, Archegos was not GME, but Archegos exposed the exact kind of hidden leverage problem retail investors had been screaming about. A family office used total return swaps and prime broker relationships to build massive hidden exposure. When it collapsed in 21, Credit Suisse alone reported approximately $5.5 billion in losses. That is not meme stock mythology. That is real-world example of hidden derivative exposure becoming visible only after the bomb already exploded. And that is the point. Retail is not saying every swap is criminal. Retail is not saying that if massive exposure can exist outside normal public visibility until after disaster hits, then ordinary investors have every right to ask how they are supposed to fully measure risk in real time. That is not paranoia. That is basic market accountability. Then add rehypothecation. Rehypothecation is one of those words that Wall Street loves because it sounds so boring that normal people immediately want to stop listening. But in plain English, it means collateral can be reused. Shares can be lent. Collateral can be pledged. Positions can be financed. Exposure can be layered. And the same economic interest can show up in multiple relationships across multiple balance sheets. That does not automatically mean infinite fake shares, but it does mean modern markets allow layers of claims, exposure, lending, collateral, and derivatives that are far more complicated than the average investor ever imagined when they downloaded a brokerage app and bought a stock. And that is where AMC and GME changed everything. Millions of ordinary people started realizing the public market is not just a scoreboard. It is a visible tip of a much larger machine. It's a machine where FTD data is delayed, short data is incomplete, securities lending visibility has historically been limited, swaps can hide economic exposure, ETF mechanics can move underlying stocks indirectly, option hedging can create violent feedback loops, and off-exchange routing can separate retail orders from visible public discovery. Even regulators have moved towards more transparency. The SEC adopted Rule 13F-2 to increase public availability of short sale related data. And regulators have continued developing systems like the Consolidated Audit Trail to help track orders actively across the U.S. markets. Let's talk about BlackRock owning Aladdin and Aladdin attached to that CAT system. Okay. The U.S. moved to a T1 settlement cycle, with the SEC saying the shorter cycle would make market plumbing more resilient, and that, if addressed, one of the areas staff recommended after the 2021 event. Ask yourself something. Why do regulators need a cat? Why shorten settlement cycles? Why increase short sale disclosure? Why revisit order competition? Why examine payment for order flow? Why modernize transparency rules? Because everything is fine? No. Because the market evolved faster than the public's ability to see it inside of it. And AMC and GME investors became one of the first retail communities loud enough, stubborn enough, and educated enough to drag that reality into the open. That is what Wall Street never expected. They expected retail to panic. They expected retail to get bored. They expected retail to chase the next shiny object. They expected retail to stay divided, emotional, uninformed, and easy to manipulate. Instead, retail started reading filings. Retail started tracking failure to delivers. Retail started studying option chains. Retail started watching off-exchange volume. Retail started learning about ETFs, swaps, lending settlement, internalization, and market maker hedging. And once the public started learning the machine became much harder to hide. Again, this does not prove one giant coordinated criminal conspiracy against AMC or GME. Serious people should not make claims beyond what public evidence can support, but it absolutely proves something else. Modern markets have become so complex, so fragmented, and so derivative heavy, and so technologically unequal that ordinary investors can no longer fully verify markets' fairness in real time. And when the public cannot independently verify true exposure, true lending activity, true routing behavior, true settlement conditions, true synthetic positions, or true price discovery, the trust starts breaking. Not because every institution is criminal, not because every short seller is evil, but because transparency itself started failing behind the machine. And once retail investors fully understand how ETFs, derivatives, swaps, option hedging, rehypothecation chains, and fragmented liquidity systems all interact around stocks like AMC and GME, the conclusion becomes unavoidable. The debate is no longer simply about two stocks. The debate is whether modern markets still belong to the public at all. And that leads to my final word. And here's my toilet tank. Why so serious? Because I'm pissed. My final word. We never were supposed to look this close. At the end of all this, the SEC filings, the dark pool data, the FTD delays, the fragmented routing systems, the securities lending opacity, the ETF mechanics, the derivative layering, and the swap exposure debate, the DTCC records, the Credit Suisse collapse, the Archegos warning sign, the GameStop report, the Melvin Capital disaster, the Citadel and Point72 rescue, and the endless financial jargon designed to make ordinary people feel like they need a PhD from Harvard just to understand why their stock chart suddenly looks like it fell down the staircase. I think the biggest thing retail investors finally realized is something very simple. We were never supposed to look this closely. And now I need to say something personal. During my show, the AMC Ape Cage, someone deleted my writing for the last two sections and my final word. Maybe they thought they would stop me. Maybe they thought I did not have a backup. Maybe they thought if they erased the words, they erased the message. Maybe they thought deleting a few pages would knock me off track, shut me up, or make me walk away from the exact information retail traders need to hear. But they were wrong. They were fucking wrong. Because all that did was confirm something I already knew in my gut. The AMC Ape Cage is moving in the right direction. And to whoever thought deleting my work would scare me, silence me, or make me walk away, understand this clearly. You made the worst possible mistake. You did not stop me. You activated me. You reminded me exactly why this work matters, exactly why retail education matters, and exactly why the AMC Ape Cage is moving in the right direction. I am not here to threaten anyone. I am here to expose, document, educate, and make sure the truth is louder than every cowardly attempt to bury it. If you thought erasing my words would erase the message, you were wrong. Now every filing gets studied harder, every connection gets questioned louder, every receipt gets saved, and every piece of data gets brought into the light. My final word we were never supposed to look this close, and the retail transparency movement, the fight for financial fairness, and why this was always bigger than AMC and GME. We followed the paper trail. Retail investors study things, the data, and the plumbing behind the markets, dark pool prints, FTD delays, routing, patterns, ETF mechanics, swaps, securities lending, and hidden exposure. We connected the dots that weren't meant to be seen. AMC and GME became larger symbols. They became lightning rods for a deeper question. Is our markets built on transparency or designed so complexity protects the powerful? This is not about blaming every institution. It was about acknowledging the truth. Transparency has kept pace with the machine. Where oversight is delayed and data is hidden, trust is broken, and fairness disappeared. They tried to delete the work. When content was removed and voices were silenced, it only confirmed that we are already what we already expected. Shine a light and the machine fights back. But every takedown strengthens our mission. So we keep building, we keep sharing, we keep exposing, because silence helps no one. Our mission is simple: document, educate, expose, demand better. Where retail needs to look. DTCC records 2023, check participant records, reporting trails, and market infrastructure disclosures. Swap exposure. Follow the security-based swap reporting, counterparty links, and derivative risks. Credit Suisse and the Archegos incident. Hidden leverage showed how exposure can stay invisible until after the damage. Off-exchange routing. Watch wholesalers, dark pools, ATS volumes, the internalized order flow, ETS option chains, basket exposures, dealer hedging, and feedback loops can distort visible price action. We already are looking at the FTD and the settlement data. Short sale transparency, that rule doesn't mean shit. And the CAT and T1, go talk to BlackRock and Aladdin. We are reading the filings. We are studying the data. We are watching the routing. We keep learning the plumbing. The public is not going back to sleep. You wanted me quiet. Now I'm focused. You wanted me discouraged. Now I'm locked in. You wanted me to back down. Now I'm going to make this bigger, cleaner, stronger, and impossible to ignore. Because I do not need threats. I need facts. I need records. I need receipts. And once the truth is documented, organized, and placed in front of the retail community, that will speak louder than anger ever could. So let this be understood. I am not going anywhere. I am not backing down. I am not being intimidated. And if someone thought deleting my work would end this, they just gave me the fuel to take it further than ever before. If the mission was meaningless, nobody would care. If the questions were harmless, nobody would panic. If retail education was not dangerous to the machine, nobody would be trying to silence it. But here's the part that Wall Street and every coward hiding behind a keyboard needs to understand. Deleting words does not delete research. Deleting a document does not delete the data. Deleting a paragraph does not delete the market structure, and deleting my final word sure as hell does not delete the question that millions of retail investors are now asking. Because AMC and GME stopped being just meme stocks a long time ago. What started as ordinary people buying heavily shorted companies turned into millions of investors accidentally pulling back the curtain on how unbelievably complicated, fragmented, derivative-heavy, and opaque modern financial markets actually became. And once people saw behind the curtain, they could not unsee it anymore. People who had never opened an SEC filing before suddenly found themselves studying market structure at 2 a.m, like they were preparing for a financial law exam while surviving on caffeine, Sprite, and pure confusion. Construction workers started researching payment for order flow. Nurses started learning ETF basket mechanics. Truck drivers started digging through FTD reports. Parents working 2 jobs started trying to understand why markets capable of processing billions of dollars in microseconds somehow delivers critical transparency to the public weeks or months after the fact, like somebody mailing evidence through the Pony Express. And Wall Street's response to all of it was basically relax. Retail just does not understand markets. No, what retail investors understood was something much more dangerous. They understood the system stopped making sense. Not because every bank is evil, but not because every hedge fund is corrupt, and not because every price movement is manipulated, but because modern markets evolved into systems so technically advanced that, or technologically advanced, so fragmented, so layered with derivatives and institutional infrastructure that the average investor can no longer independently verify whether price discovery is functioning fairly in real time. That is where the DTC conversation matters. That is where the 2023 filings matter. That is where the swap records, participant data, counterparty exposure, Credit Suisse documentation, and clearing infrastructure becomes impossible to ignore. Retail investors are not looking in random places. They are looking exactly where modern market plumbing tells them to look. They are looking at the institutions and repositories where exposure is reported, processed, cleared, transferred, netted, hidden behind complexity, or revealed only after the damage is already done. And let me be clear, I'm not going to hand Wall Street an easy win by making claims sloppier than the documents allow. If the filing proves something, then say what it proves. If a filing raises a question, then say the question it raises. If a video shows a connection, then show that connection. If the DTCC record points towards swap relationships, a participant link, a reporting trail, or a timing issue around 2023, then the public deserves to see it, understand it, and ask why that information was buried in a place most ordinary investors would never even know to look. But here is what I will say. If the 2023 DTCC filing, swap repository records, public disclosure, or participant documents show connections involving Credit Suisse, swap contracts, institutional counterparties, and the same broader market structure that surrounded the GME and meme basket problem, then retail has every right to demand answers. If those records raise questions about who underwrote exposure, who held exposure, who transferred exposure, who benefited from exposure, and who exited before the damage became public, or who used the system to get what they needed before walking away, then those questions should not be mocked. They should be investigated, because the public has seen this movie before. Archegos was not AMC, Archegos was not GME, but Archegos exposed the exact kind of hidden leverage problem retail investors have been warning about for years. A family office used total return swaps and prime broker relationships to build massive hidden exposure across multiple banks. The public did not fully understand the danger until after the bomb exploded. Credit Suisse took a massive hit. Regulators suddenly started talking about swap transparency like they just discovered fire. And ordinary investors were left asking the obvious question: if exposure can build in the shadows until it detonates, how is the public supposed to know who is really exposed to what before it is too late? That question does not become less important when the name changes. It becomes more important because when you start looking at GameStop, AMC, Melvin Capital, Citadel, Point72, Credit Suisse, swaps, derivatives, ETF exposure, securities lending, short interest, failed to delivers, and off-exchange routing, you are not looking at a separate isolated issue anymore. You are looking at a web. You are looking at a machine. You are looking at a financial system where one visible stock chart may sit at the top of dozens of hidden relationships the average investor cannot see in real time. GameStop's short interest reaching levels above the float in January of 21 should have permanently changed how the public talks about market plumbing. Melvin Capital did not collapse in a vacuum. Citadel and Point72 did not inject capital into Melvin because the situation was casual. Credit Suisse did not become a symbol of hidden exposure because everything in the swap market was perfectly transparent. Archegos did not blow up because regulators had full, real-time visibility into every dangerous position. These events are not the same event, but they all point towards the same structural problem. Modern markets allow enormous amount of risks, leverage, exposure, and influence to exist behind layers the public cannot easily see. And now, retail is being told not to look closely at DTCC records, not to look at 2023 filings, not to look at swap contracts, not to look at Credit Suisse, not to look at who may have been connected to what before things went under, changed hands, disappeared, transferred, or got buried inside plumbing. No, that time is over. If the records are public, retail has the right to read them. If the filings exist, retail has the right to analyze them. And if the data raises questions, then retail has the right to ask those questions out loud. Hence, here is your DTCC filing. For all participants, the category is underwriting. The underwriting operations of managing partners, officers, cashiers, operations, data processing, and underwriting managers. For you know who, Citadel Finance, LLC. Rule 144A, semicolon, here's your file number, regulation SU1718RAA6. Citadel Finance, LLC, an issuer of the senior notes due of 2026 in the amount offering of $600 million for UBS Securities as the managing underwriter. The Bank of New York Mellon. On March 8th of 2021 is this closing date. The reason why this is important because it lines up certain people with certain things that happened in history. Specifically, when the New York Bank of Mellon fell, Citadel was one of the original offerings of that bank to make sure that it stayed alive. As soon as Citadel got information in regards to this, all of a sudden, they weren't involved within offering the bank. They rescinded their $100 million offer. Which is funny, because this is exactly why retail keeps following the paper trail. DTCC notices, underwriting records, participant relationships, paying agent infrastructure, swap agreements, custodial custody movements, and transfer activities are all part of the larger market machine most ordinary investors never knew existed. The public was told only to watch the stock chart while the real complexity sat buried underneath layers of filings, counterparties, clearing systems, and delayed transparency. And when retail investors started connecting Citadel Finance LLC, UBS Securities LLC, and the Bank of New York Mellon, DTCC infrastructure, swap exposure discussions, custody movements, and the timing surrounding the broader market instability, the question is no longer whether people should look. The question is why the public was ever expected not to. If the records show transfers, justification changes, custody movement, or exposure relationships tied to entities involving the broader meme basket era, then the retail investor has every right to study those timelines carefully, not emotionally, not recklessly, carefully. Because after Archegos, Credit Suisse, off-exchange routing, hidden derivative exposure, and years of delayed transparency, the burden is no longer on retail to blindly trust the system. The burden is on the system to earn that trust back through visibility, accountability, and real transparency. This is not claiming every swap is criminal. This is not this is not about saying every institution is guilty. This is not about pretending one document automatically proves an entire theory. This is about the fact that the public should not have to reverse engineer DTCC filings, SEC reports, swap respiratories, participant disclosure, short sale data, FTD list, ETF baskets, derivative exposure, and delayed reporting systems just to understand whether the market is functioning fairly. And one more thing. This document shows Citadel Finance LLC, UBS Securities LLC, and Managing Underwriting, and the Bank of New York Mellon as paying agent. It does not prove wrongdoing by itself. It identifies a document paper trail. Retail investors should follow through DTCC infrastructures, underwriting records, paying agent relationships, swap agreements, custodial movements, and justification or jurisdictional oversight questions. If ordinary investors cannot clearly see who is exposed, who is routing orders, who is lending shares, who is internalizing trades, who is holding synthetic exposure, who is writing swap contracts, and who is underwriting risk, who is exiting positions, and who is benefiting from opacity, then the trust starts breaking. And once the trust breaks, the whole system has a problem, because confidence is the foundation underneath financial markets on earth, not television talking points, not polished billionaires interviews, not Wall Street executives pretending they care deeply about market integrity. 5 minutes after another regulatory fine, confidence survives only when ordinary people believe the rules apply equally to everyone participating in the system, and that belief has been cracking. The AMC and GME communities did not invent concerns surrounding market structure. They exposed them to the public at scale. They forced ordinary people to start asking questions institutions were perfectly comfortable leaving buried underneath complexity for decades. Why is so much retail volume routed off exchange? Why are dark pools and ATS systems so dominant? Why is settlement transparency delayed? Why are securities lending systems so opaque? Why can synthetic exposure become so different that to measure or difficult to measure? Why can swap exposure remain hidden until after a crisis? Why did Archegos become visible only after the explosion? Why did Credit Suisse get dragged into one of the most important hidden exposure lessons of modern finance? Why does enforcement often arrive years after the conduct already happened? Why does public transparency always seem to lag behind institutional technology? And why does every conversation about reform suddenly get treated like somebody threatened an unplugged Wall Street life support machine? Because once millions of people started asking those questions at the same time, the narrative became much harder to control. That is what scares them. Not just AMC, not just GME, not just one stock, not just one short squeeze, but scares them is retail learning the plumbing, What scares them is retail learning the language. What scares them is retail learning where to look. What scares them is retail realizing that market structure is not some scared or scarred mystery reserve for institutions, lawyers, regulators, and billionaires. It belongs to the public too. And honestly, that is why I do this. Not for the clicks, not for the followers, not to become some internet celebrity screaming into a camera, pretending I alone have all the answers. I do this because I genuinely want people in those communities and every community to have a real opportunity, a chance to understand what they are up against, a chance to see behind the curtain, a chance to stop walking blindly through one of the most technologically advanced financial systems ever created. Because whether people want to admit it or not, banks, hedge funds, market makers, family offices, and institution firms study retail behavior constantly. Entire teams of analysts, algorithms, AI systems, and quantitative models exist specifically to understand how public money moves, how emotion spreads, how liquidity reacts, how fear influences decision-making, how panic can be triggered, how narratives can be shaped, and how ordinary investors can be pushed into doing exactly what institutions want them to do. So why should retail investors remain uninformed? Why should ordinary people be expected to play a game where one side has high-frequency trading infrastructures, algorithmic execution systems, private data pipelines, derivative desks, prime brokers, political influence, lobbyists, dark pools, internalized routing, swap exposure, legal team, regulatory relationships, and billion-dollar balance sheets, while the other side gets told, just trust us. Everything is perfectly fine, or fair and fine. The retail investor deserves transparency. They deserve education. They deserve visibility. They deserve markets where the public is not always the last to know, the last to see, and the first to be blamed. Retail investors deserve the ability to participate in a market that are not hidden behind institutional smokescreens, delayed reporting systems, carefully managed narratives, and complexity designed to make ordinary people feel too stupid to ask the question. That is why this movement matters. And honestly, I think education is what scares the system more than anything else. Not hashtags, not memes, not retail traders posting rocket emojis on social media. Education. Because educated retail investors becomes much harder to emotionally manipulate. They start understanding market plumbing. They start understanding incentives. They start understanding fragmented routing. They start understanding off-exchange dominance. They start understanding ETF mechanics. They start understanding securities lending. They start understanding derivative exposure. They start understanding swap reporting, rehypothecation, collateral change. They start understanding delayed transparency. They start understanding why a simple stock chart may only be the final shadow cast by a much larger machine operating behind the wall. And once people understand the machine, fear starts turning into conviction, confusion starts turning into research, anger starts turning into discipline, memes start turning into filings, rumors start turning into document trails, and retail stops being just a crowd Wall Street can laugh at, because retail becomes a force that reads, studies, verifies, archives, compares, questions, and refuses to be shamed out of demanding fair markets. Now let me be crystal clear about something, because this matters. None of this guarantees AMC or GME magically hits infinite price targets tomorrow. Anybody promising guaranteed outcomes is selling fantasy wrapped in hopium and bad math. Markets are still risky. Institutions are still powerful. Volatility still exists. Losses are real. Timing matters. Data matters. Risk management matters. And nobody should confuse transparency research with a guaranteed lottery ticket. But what is real is this. Millions of ordinary people woke up. And once people wake up to how the system actually functions, they stop blindly accepting every narrative handed to them by the same institutions benefiting from opacity in the first place. They stop letting television personalities laugh them out of reading filings. They stop letting billionaires define what questions are allowed. They stop letting Wall Street pretend that complexity is the same thing as fairness. They stop accepting delayed transparency as normal. They stop accepting hidden exposure as harmless. They stop accepting trust us as a substitute for evidence. This moment was never simply about getting rich quick. It was about giving ordinary people the belief that maybe, just maybe, financial opportunity should not be or should not belong exclusively to institutions operating behind closed doors while the public receives delayed data, fragmented visibility, hidden exposure, and carefully managed narratives after the important moves already happened. It was about asking whether modern markets still serve the public or whether the public has been reduced to liquidity, order flow, behavioral data, and exit liquidity for systems they are not allowed to fully see. And for me personally, that is the mission. I want every person in these communities, AMC, GME, and the entire Meme Basket family to have the opportunity to change their financial stars, not through blind hype, not through fantasy, not through emotional screaming matches online, through education, transparency, understanding research, data, accountability, and exposing the cracks inside a system that became far too comfortable operating in the dark. Because sunlight changes everything. And whether Wall Street likes it or not, retail investors are not asleep anymore. We are reading filings. We are studying the data. We are watching the routing. We are learning the plumbing. We are asking the uncomfortable questions. We are checking the DTCC records. We are looking at 2023. We are following the swaps. We are looking at Credit Suisse. We are looking at Melvin. We are looking at Citadel. We are looking at Point 72. We are looking at market makers. We are looking at prime brokers. We are looking at ETF exposures. We are looking at securities lending. We are looking at the Federal Reserve infrastructure, and we are looking at every place the public was told not to look. And if somebody thought deleting my writing would scare me, they were wrong. It did the opposite. It reminded me why this show exists. It reminds me why retail education matters. It reminds me why the AMC Ape Cage is not backing down. It reminds me that when people start trying to erase your words, it usually means your words were getting too close to something they did not want said out loud. So let this be my final word. You can delete a document, but you cannot delete the movement. You cannot mock retail, but you cannot unteach what retail has learned. You can hide behind complexity. You cannot stop people from learning the language. You can delay the data, but you cannot stop people from reading it when it finally appears. You can bury the truth under swaps, filings, dark pools, routing systems, lending chains, and settlement reports, but you cannot keep the public asleep forever. Because this is no longer simply about two stocks. This is no longer simply about AMC or GME. This is no longer simply about one hedge fund, one market maker, one bank, one swap, one filing, one deletion, or one show. This is about whether modern markets still belong to the public at all. And the public is not going back to sleep. And I want all of you to honestly read. I want you to look at everything. Anything that anybody points out to you, anything that anybody says or shows you or anything. Say, where's your source? Where's your proof? Show me evidence. because maybe he missed something, or maybe that person didn't think about that, or maybe something is out there that you saw and you remember, and you just say, hey, let me review that. Show me where. Because you're told so many different things every single day. We're all on social media together. You guys all see it. We were talking about last night and how things were just popping out in the middle of the show. Do me a favor. Show me the proof of what you're saying. It's not hard to go ahead and ask somebody for the data. Why? Because if it means something, or if it's true, or if there's something that can be added onto it, they should be able to provide that for you. Because that is what this community is about. If we haven't checked, we haven't double checked, triple checked, quadruple checked, then we're not doing our job right. And that's what we need to do going forward. Because maybe one of us missed something. Maybe we have something that we need to add on to. Or maybe there's something specific that you need us to go over with you. Because anything that we can do, especially us here, can do for you guys, please just ask. Honestly, I will get back to anybody that ever asks me the question. Because you deserve every answer that is out there. And with that, that is what I wanted to go over with all of you tonight. Was read you that final stuff and go over specific document of that DTCC record. One of the things that you can look for within that DTCC record is any of the transfer ownership rights, and this would be through your DRS shares. If they were a part of the Bank of New York Mellon and they went overseas, will be considered overseas, to the Canada's version of Mellon Bank, that is your evidence right there. Because New York Bank of Mellon fell in 2023, right after an offer to buy it was rescinded. And that is your connection, folks, for GME and AMC for those return swaps that were due April of 2023 for mark to market. And with that, you now know where to look. You know what you need to find, because those are the dots that need to be connected. And with that, I leave you all with Joker Ape and a song called Apes Don't Break. Have a good night.
In the shadows of your journey, you've fought battles that no one else can see. Every scar, a testament to your resilience. Every setback, a whisper of your unyielding spirit. The darkness has tried to swallow you, yet here you stand, a beacon of tenacity in a world that seeks to break you. Remember the nights drenched in despair, the moments when surrender seemed like a sweet release. Recall the ghosts of doubt that haunted your every step, and the chains of fear that bound your soul. Yet, against all odds, you've clawed your way through the abyss, each victory a shard of light piercing the void. You've come too far to quit now. Abandonment now would mean all those battles fought in vain, every drop of blood, sweat, and tear rendered meaningless. The darkness will always lurk, waiting to reclaim you, but you are forged in the fires of perseverance. Your journey is etched with pain, but also with the promise of triumph. Let the world tremble at your resolve. Let your enemies know that you are relentless, unbreakable. Quitting is not an option, for you are a warrior of the night, and you have conquered too much to be undone by the shadows. Rise and let your scars sing songs of your indomitable spirit. You are a force of nature, and you will not falter now. Embrace the darkness, for it has made you who you are, and march forward with the fury of 1,000 storms. You are unstoppable, and your destiny awaits. The road ahead is still paved with uncertainty, each step a gamble with fate. Yet within you burns a fire that the darkness cannot extinguish. You've survived the tempests, endured the relentless onslaughts, and emerged from the ruins, time and time again. The echoes of your struggle are not in vain. They are the symphony of your survival. As you stand on the precipice of your next challenge, feel the weight of your journey anchor you. Every hardship has been a chisel, carving you into a monument of resilience. The pain that once sought to break you has instead become your armor, each scar a mark of your indomitable will. Let the darkness know that it holds no dominion over you. You've stared into the void and seen the reflection of your own strength staring back. The demons that once whispered defeat now cower before your resolve. You are not just a survivor, you are a conqueror of the shadows. In this moment of reckoning, summon the fury that has driven you this far. Let your heart thunder with the rage of every challenge overcome, every fear vanquished. You are the storm that the night feared would come, an unstoppable force that refuses to be tamed. Quitting now would betray everything you've endured, every victory hard won. The darkness seeks to reclaim you, to pull you back into its cold embrace. But you have become its master. Each step forward is a declaration of defiance, a testament to your unwavering spirit. Rise once more, warrior of the night. Let the world see that you are not merely surviving, but thriving amidst the chaos. Your journey is far from over, and your story is still being written. Embrace the darkness, for it has shaped you, but know that it will never own you. You are a beacon in the night, a relentless force of nature. Press on, for the dawn is near, and your destiny is within reach. You are unstoppable, and you will not quit now. Feel the power that courses through your veins, a testament to every battle fought and every wound healed. The darkness may loom, but it has not and will not consume you. You are a warrior, forged in the crucible of adversity, and your strength is a force the shadows cannot fathom. The path ahead is treacherous, littered with the remnants of those who surrendered. But you are different. You are the one who rises when others fall, who pushes forward when others retreat. Each challenge is a call to arms, a chance to prove that your spirit cannot be broken. In the silence of the night, when the world is asleep, your resolve awakens. It is in these moments of solitude that your true strength is revealed. You have faced the abyss and found your way back, guided by the unyielding light of your determination. Quitting would mean betraying the warrior within, the one who has faced insurmountable odds and emerged victorious. The journey has been long, the battles fierce, but every step has brought you closer to your destiny. You are not here by chance. You are here because you fought for it, bled for it, and refused to let the darkness win. Let your heart beat with the fury of 1,000 storms, a reminder that you are alive, that you are here, and that you are unstoppable. The night may be long, but the dawn is inevitable, and you are the harbinger of that new day. Every breath you take is a testament to your resilience, every step a defiance of the shadows that seek to claim you. Rise, warrior, and let your spirit roar with the power of all you have overcome. The darkness has shaped you, but it does not define you. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. Your journey is a testament to the power of the human spirit, a beacon for all who wander in the dark. You are a force of nature, an unstoppable tide. Quitting now would be an affront to all that you have endured, a betrayal of the strength that has carried you this far. Stand tall, embrace the darkness, and let it fuel your relentless pursuit of greatness.
Fuck what they told us. Fuck every lie. Tried to kill the movement, but the ape's still alive. Diamond hands up, middle fingers in the sky. AMC forever, watch the underdogs rise. We fight, we win. Joker ape in this bitch. Let the war begin. I'm an ape motherfucker and I came from the other side. Seen corruption up close, watch the devils all hide. Now I'm on a mission just to pull back the curtain, expose every dirty move and make the victory certain. This community different, this shit deeper than stocks. Built the family from pain while they laugh from the top. Now they terrified, we united and we learned the game. Cause the apes got stronger every time they threw flames. I bend over backwards for the people that hold. Loyalty rare in a world so cold. And I protect this family with everything I got. Cause real apes stand together whether rich or not. Media puppets spread fear, try to poison the crowd. But the ape family still screaming loud and proud. 6 years in the war and we still right here. Still buying, still holding, still killing they feel. Fuck what they told us. Fuck what they told us. Fuck every lie. Fuck every lie. Try to kill the movement, but the ape's still alive. But the ape's still alive. Diamond hands up. Diamond hands. Middle fingers in the sky. Middle fingers in the sky. AMC forever. Watch the underdog rise. They wanted division. They wanted us weak. But the strongest motherfuckers never break in defeat. Every ape in this movement got scars from the fight, but we still swing back every damn night. This ain't just money, this a movement for truth. For the workers getting crushed while the billionaires lose. So I spit for the underdogs, the broken, the lost. Every ape still standing no matter the cost. I seen people lose hope, lose homes, lose faith. Still they came back swinging with rage in they face. Cause the ape family built something money can't buy. Brotherhood that survives while the system all lies. And they hate that shit cause they can't control souls. Can't break diamond hands, can't shake what we know. I learned what's behind the curtain, seen how they play. Dark pools, fake narratives, manipulation every day. Now I teach the community everything that I know. Cause knowledge is power and together we grow. Every ape got a purpose, every voice got value. And I'll fight for this movement till my body unravel. Cause I know what we build and I know what it means. A family brought together through impossible dreams. Pull back the curtain, expose every lie. Real apes don't quit, real apes survive. One family, one mission, one goal till victory finally. I remember every headline saying AMC dead. Every paid motherfucker pushing fear instead. Telling retail investors that we all should quit. But the ape family looked back and said, suck my dick, cause we still buying. Still holding the line, still exposing corruption. One post at a time and every attack only made us evolve. Now the whole damn movement became impossible to solve. See, I don't rap for fame, I rap for the apes. For the people still fighting while they stack up the hate. For the single mom stressed while they work every shift. For the workers feeling trapped, hoping life finally shift. This movement gave people hope in the middle of pain. Gave broken souls purpose when they felt drained. That's why I protect it with everything in me. Cause real loyalty nowadays hard to see. And if they ever come against the family again, then we rise together every ape to the end. Cause the movement ain't dying long as one ape breathe. And the system gon' fear what they never believe. Yeah, I'm Joker, hey, still standing tall for the ape family. I risk it all. AMC forever, stamped across my soul. And real apes never break, we just take control. We fight, we fight, we fight, we win. Apes together strong. this motherfucker. Candy paint dripping. Bass hitting like a fist fight. Boom, 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 boom. Little mama wanna ride with a door tonight. Hop in the Chevy, let the bass line fight. Ride with me. Window down while we blow that smoke. Ass poking out while she ride real slow. Yeah. Little mama wanna slide through the city with me. Bad little bitch wanna get lit with me. Come on. You said you like southern motherfuckers. Prove that shit, cause tonight we outside on some fool ass shit. Look, candy paint wet like the beach just cried. 24 spin while the trunk outside. Bass hit hard, made the stop sign shake. Whole block know when the squad gon' skid. I got a thick little red bone holding my cuff. Talking about she tryna leave a man fucked up. I said shit, that ain't my business though. Pass her the blunt, now she rolling slow. Gold in my mouth when I grin too hard. Valet nervous when I park that car. Middle of the summer with the top lean back. Whole club smell like loud and yak. Little mama bad with her jeans too tight. Talk slick and I'ma beat that up tonight. She said damn, you reckless as fuck. I said baby, that's why you stuck. Whole lot of ass in the parking lot. Whole lot of bass made the call out now. Whole lot of broke boys mad outside cause that girl tryna slide in the passenger side. I'ma wanna ride with a thug tonight. Hop in the Chevy, hit the baseline fight. Ride with me. Windows down while we blow that smoke. Ass poking out while she ride real slow. Yeah. Little mama wanna slide through the city with me. Bad little bitch wanna get lit with me. Come on. You said you like southern motherfuckers. Prove that shit, cause tonight we outside on some fool ass shit. Big body Chevy with the suede inside. Rim so clean, make a man look fried. I got Henny in my cup and smoke in the air. Two bad bitches pulling all on my hair. Baseline acting like the trunk got angle. Parking lot junk like a damn gangbanger. I ain't tryna cuddle, I'm tryna vibe. Hit the room lady if the move feel right. She like damn, why your voice so calm? Cause I done seen too much to panic mom. Whole squad outside looking dangerous. Girls go crazy when the chain swing stainless. You can bring your friend and she thick too. Backseat lit like a damn strip room. Neon lights on the chrome all shining. Whole damn block hit a sub start whining. Police ride past but they don't say shit cause the whole damn city know the motherfuckers wide. I got one hand gripping wood grain steering, other hand on the thigh while the baseline tearing.
Ride slow, ride slow, bass low, bass low, bass low, bass low. Ride slow, ride slow, bass low, bass low, bass low, ride slow, ride slow, bass low, bass low, bass low.
Little mama climbed in the ceiling back. Perfume mixing with the weed smoke black. Told me she tired of these broke ass clowns. Wanna ride with a boss when the sun go down. I said shit, buckle up then ride. Hit the gas, make the whole damn freeway slide. Trump bang hard like a fight downstairs. Old heads mad but the young hoe stare. She got gloss on the lips and liquor in the vein. Tryna grind on me while I switch them lanes. I'm too lit, too gone, too faded. Still got the whole damn parking lot waiting. Club owner tryna get us inside. Cause when we pull up all the bottles get fly. Little mama figure with a mean little talk nasty to me.
Welcome to the cage.
Like
round and round we go.
Shot said, baby girl,
hope you're not afraid of heights.
This ride never stops!
Enjoy the fall.
That escalated fast. You haven't seen chaos yet.
Aw, don't leave yet. We're just getting started.
That's a wrap. Or is it?
Good night.